Most people, learn reality by hearing as opposed to perceiving. You see that? If you don't perceive reality, you hear about it, meaning that somebody told you that you're a human being. You didn't perceive that you're a human being. You perceive, when it comes to perception, you perceive, a lower part of your expression. And you heard, you see, ideas that you are an educated animal or something of that nature. You see? So the thing is that if you develop the Ajna chakra, you will be able to use your manipulative center for social, control and power, manner that unites you with the laws of God, with God itself, where you approach it as the divine being as opposed to a powerful human being. You see that? Okay, the same thing when you build social systems based on the heart chakra and the Hatha chakra, you're basing social system based on feelings. No matter how harmonious feelings are, they are darkness. They're part of the darkness. Feelings cannot guide you to truth. You see that? You need the Guru chakra. That's the chakra that will inform you about your divinity, informs you about the divine aspects of the social order. That is why today's world, is full of, so much strife, where people do not know what love is. They say they love, but love has to be taught to you from the Lalita chakra within you. You see that, you learn about the law, the Dharma, from a chakra. It will be intuited to you. So the ancient shamanic tradition before the Aryans came and invaded India and created Hinduism, which is a hybrid system of the ancient and the new, the new population in India. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm not going to get into that thing. I'm just going to say that they are different. And if you really want to learn to benefit from both of them, you need to know their differences so you can separate and then unite it. That's what I did. You see that I separated, learned what shamanic tradition was about, learned what the Aryan tradition was about, and that way you can learn what to discard and what to keep. You see that? So if you want to be holistic in your perception, your thinking, and your actions, you need to awaken the Ajna center within you. Let's stick with the word chakra. So the Ajna chakra, you awaken it with the mantra Ong, A-U-N-G, and in Kamic, they use the mantra Onk. You say A-U-N-K. K and G are interchangeable. So if we substitute the K, the Kamitic K in Onk for the shamanic G, Ong, we find that it's the base Ong, it's the same Ong energy with a nasal, ending to it, okay, which is a humming sound that activates the full length of the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve within your being, and it awakens the most important centers in your brain. You see, along with 10 other vessel conduits in the brain. You see that, and there are a lot of esoteric teachings that correlates the vagus nerve to what's called the Sushumna channel of Kundalini energy. You see that. So if you want to be holistic, you're not going to be holistic by studying holistic medicine or holistic social order. You have to awaken the faculty that governs holism within you. And that's the mantra Om. You see that? With the color, a dark blue light and things of that nature. You see that? If you want to learn, you see, the divine will and be in harmony with the divine will, as well as the sciences that governs life, you have to awaken the Guru chakra with the mantra Hung, H-U-N-G. That mantra will still cut off your head. It will still, your mind, what you think you know, so that you can be receptive to counsel directly from God. Wisdom is not great intelligence. Wisdom is a humble submission to the teachings and guidance from God, which happens when you awaken and arouse and develop the Guru chakra. You see that? Which corresponds to Tehute in the Kamitic, tradition, the partner of Kami. You see that? Then we have the Nirvana chakra. You see that? The idea of, annihilism has been attached to nirvana. But, nirvana is not annihilism. Nirvana is really the annihilism of the human identity, being replaced by the divine, the identification with your inborn, indwelling divinity. You see that? You have to die to the human for the divine to come into being. And, so if somebody's going to teach you to stop being a human being and manifest the divinity that you are, it cannot be words. It cannot be ideas and studying. There's a faculty inside of you, you see, that will teach you and provide you with the energy, because nothing happens without its appropriate energy. Okay, the so-called energy that makes ideas and principles reality were called goddesses. You see that? And when the Aryans came and found that, that the Shramans were developing themselves and their people spiritually by the coordination of divine principles, which is the God, the male side of being, and the powers of the goddesses. You see that, which is the female side of being, they being, patriarchal and male chauvinists, they had to extirpate the female completely out of spirituality. That's what they did in the Judaic tradition, you see, where they blame Eve for all the ills in mankind. And then we find that throughout the Western religious traditions, women play a minor role, okay, in spirituality. There are no female popes and imams and gurus and things of that nature. In Shamanic tradition, a woman could rise to the very top as a man, the same thing as in Egypt, as in Kemet. So we have these spiritual centers, Lalita, for order and things of that nature, Bagalamukhi, for the laws, intuiting the laws of how to deal with transgressors, so you do not learn to lose your unity, your oneness with the transgressor and with God. Then we have the Herit chakra, which corresponds to your will. You see, your perception of yourself and mastering the external environment, as well as mastering the 5 lower psychical chakras. If your Herit chakra is not awakened and you begin to do the mantras for the Manipura and the Swadhisthana and the Anahata and so forth, you are just going to, energize the lower aspect of your psyche and increase its control over your being, over your consciousness, over yourself and your mind. So before you begin to do the mantras for the 5 lower psychical chakras, you first must awaken the Herit chakra, which is Heru in the Kamitic tradition. You see, while the Hindu system, gives prominence to the Om, mantra Om, which has a prominent place, but in working and developing the Herit, the heart, not that's the spiritual heart, as opposed to the psychical heart, which is the Anahata. You see that? That is the vehicle of your consciousness in the world, gives you kingship over your environment, your social and psychical environment. You see that? Then we have the Manas chakra, which corresponds to your verbal and your imaginative intelligences, which enables you to translate, you see, your ideas, over into the psyche. You cannot govern your psyche if your mind, your Manas chakra, is not fully infused with the teachings from the higher chakras, the Ajna, the Guru, the Nirvana, and so on. And then we have a chakra which is extremely important, which is the Visarga chakra, which corresponds to Auset in the Kamitic tradition. The Visarga chakra is called the bridge, the great mysterious bridge. It is the power of trance. When you learn to go into trance, you see, through meditation, through breathing, and the manipulation of mantras, as opposed to using drugs. You see that when you lose drugs, you lose control. You lose full control over your psychical being. Okay, I'm not going to get into arguments with people about it. Okay, I've been doing this for 50 years, teaching it to people, and haven't lost a soul. You see, so the whole thing is that when you build a bridge between the spirit, mind, and the psyche through the Visarga chakra, you are able, therefore, to send what has been mastered to the Sahasrara chakra. The Sahasrara chakra is composed of 50 bija or seed sounds. You see that? Okay? That are repeated in 20, spiral, circles. You see that? Spiraled rings, okay, adding up to 1,000 revolutions. So I just want you to understand that on each of the so-called 5 lower, chakras, there are 50 seed sounds. You see, that must be, they start off with human, expressions, and they must be uplifted into divine expressions and sent by Visarga chakra to the Sahasrara chakra. So I'm just giving you I'm going to be putting my Light on Kundalini Yoga book, which explain this topic. I will putting it on sale. You will get, information about it soon when it's back on sale.